Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak to my peers. Sally Ride was the first American woman in space. Many of us are the first in our families to go to college, to make it this far, or the first to complete anything. I mean, let's face it, we don't even want to complete a 10-minute survey. All adventures, Sally Ride said, all adventures, especially into new territory, are scary. At one point, our arrival on the Crafton campus was new territory, and it was scary. In the first week of class, we had to pretend to not look lost while we were in fact lost looking for our classes. Some of us still don't know where the PSAH building is or what it stands for. We had to map out and plan ahead for what parking lot to use because if you can remember, at one point, parking lots A through F were all used for construction.
Yep.
Looking at these very steps in horror, hoping none of our classes required climbing them at any point. And raise your hand if you've fallen. Then there was that awkward first day of class when half of the class, most of which were strangers to each other, waited outside an empty classroom until someone was brave enough to cross the threshold. At this point in our journeys, I believe we are those brave ones. Today, we have mastered the territory here, but it's time to step through the next threshold onto new territory. Looking back in history, there were frontiers that societies have navigated and explored, such as crossing seas, ascending mountains, and braving hot deserts. One that is most notable is the space exploration of the 1960s. This was a huge feat of the US to undertake such a goal, similar to the frontiers that we are going into after we walk across this stage today. Wherever we are going will be just as much of a massive undertaking as going to the moon. I recently read an article titled, How to Get to the Moon, which I believe will help us going forward. 6 easy steps. To get to the moon, the first thing we need is a rocket. The purpose of the rocket is to propel us into space. Sally Ride said, when you're getting ready to launch into space, you are sitting on a big explosion waiting to happen. Well, today, this celebration of our accomplishments, success, and hard work is our rocket. Let the excitement and the elation of the day be our rocket that launches us into what is ahead. The second thing we need is a spaceship. A spaceship is what actually carries us to the moon. It houses everything we need to make the trip. Our thoughts and visions, our intellect, everything within our mind is now our spaceship. So continue to ask the hard questions. We must keep our mind sharp. It has to carry us far. The third thing we need is the right stuff. And the right stuff is the grit and sacrifice it takes to be astronauts. Class of 2018, do you have the right stuff? We all know the sacrifice it takes to complete anything worthwhile. But the right stuff is also training. We have all been in astronaut training. Every time we pulled an all-nighter to finish a paper for Professor Phillips, who made us rewrite the introduction 3 times. And every time we visited the tutoring center with our endless questions. And every time we said no to that late night hangout / turn-up session. We have been in training for this very day. Some of you can remember your go-to snacks. We use Monsters and coffee, and my favorite, cherry Coke and gummy worms, just to stay up. But don't worry, your professors have told me that C's still get degrees. But that was the training, doing whatever it takes to get done. Some of us have been in training longer than others, but today we will become certified astronauts. The fourth thing we need are the right clothes. And for the right clothes, we need a spacesuit. A spacesuit is what you put on before you go out and face the extreme elements. Well, I want to tell you that your identity is your spacesuit. Knowing who we are and what we are created to do gives us the strength to stand against the extreme elements in life, aka the haters. The fifth thing we need to get to the moon is math. It is obvious that it will take complex math to get you from here to the moon. And to some of you math majors, this might bring you joy, as you think back to the hours studying for Professor Crisis test. But for the rest of us, I say use a calculator or Google. But in all seriousness, we need to count the cost of any mission we are undertaking. We must ask ourselves, where are we going? Where is our moon? And do we know how to get there? The sixth and greatest thing we need is mission control. I believe mission control is the most important aspect to space travel. They are there to help get you into space and land you on the moon safely. Hopefully your mission control is behind you today cheering you on, or they are a part of the amazing faculty standing behind me. And you've already done it once, but go ahead and thank them again. supported us financially and emotionally and physically, the ones who have given us rides, who have listened to us practice presentations and have been a shoulder to cry on when we wanted to give up. Or maybe your mission control is like Samina Parachi, whose family is here from Romania, 6,000 miles. Or maybe your mission control is like my mom, who chased a bus down in her car when I missed it. You guys are our mission control, and we want to say thank you. So class of 2018, today is what we've been preparing for. We have passed all the training, we have all the equipment, we have support from mission control. So to the vice presidents, I want to speak on behalf of the class of 2018. We're strapped in and ready for liftoff. Thank you.